Y'all know I wrote a book, right? It's called Buy a Game and it's free. Click the link down there, you got it.
DreAllDay.com.
This morning we about to talk about making and keeping your word in every single thing that you do. Please swipe to the right, share this on your Twitter, share this on your Periscope, share this on your Facebook. But first of all, let me know who you are. Let me know your names and where you from as you check in. What's going on, Jay De Leon? As you check in, let me know your names and where you from. What time is it? It's about 6 a.m. Sterling checking in from Houston. Shout out to Houston. Shout out to all my people in Texas. Stefano, A. Kennedy, Andre from Brooklyn, Aaron from New York. Shout out to New York. Shout out to the East Coast. What up, Kathy? Checking in from NC. This morning we talking about keeping your word. Jomo, what's going on? Good morning to you. This is DreAllDay. FT Lawyer, good morning to you. This is DreAllDay. Some know me as Dre Baldwin. S6 Benz, what's going on? This morning we talking about keeping your word. Me, what I'm here for is empowerment. My aim is to empower as many people as possible. Maybe you already are empowered. I'm going to empower you in some ways further than you're already empowered, and maybe some new ways to empower you. That's my aim. That's what I do. Good morning, FT Lawyer. Grateful Mom 03. Good morning to you. My aim is to empower as many people as possible through professional speaking, through books, through teaching people entrepreneurship, through helping people brand and market themselves and their businesses, also through YouTube videos, through blogging, and through these live streams on Periscope. That's my aim. Every single day is what I want to do, empower as many people as possible. So today we're talking about keeping your word. And all of you have heard all of you are familiar with that phrase. You know what it means. It basically means if you tell somebody something, tell somebody you're going to do something, you actually do it. All of us have used it before. All of us have heard it before. How many of you have ever had somebody tell you that, hey, you got my word, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that? They might not even have said you have my word, but they just told you they was going to do something, and then they didn't do it. How many of you ever had somebody do that? They say, you know what, I'm going to call you. You know what, I'm going to show up. You know what, I'm going to be committed. I'm going to be here every week. I'm going to do all this stuff. Morning, Jomo. And then they never showed up. They just didn't do the things that they said they was going to do. And the thing is, it happens to everybody in life. People do it all the time. We all know this. And the fact of the matter is, it's hard to maintain respect for a person when they don't keep their word. When a person tells you that they're going to do something and they don't do it, or if you tell somebody you're going to do something and you don't do it, that person loses a little bit of respect for you. They lose a little bit of faith in you, and they might not trust you as much just because of the fact that you said you was going to do it and you didn't do it. And it could be something very simple like, hey, honey, I'm going to pick up milk on the way home from work today. You don't do it. She might lose, or he might lose, a little bit of trust in you, just a little bit, a small, tiny bit that you can't even measure, just because you didn't keep your word on what you said that you were going to do. So it's not always something as big as, till death do us part, in sickness and in health. It's not always something that big. It's not, I'm going to pay you back this $10,000 loan. It could be something very small. What's up, Harlem Joe? When you don't keep your word, you lose just a tiny modicum of respect, trust, and belief in other people when you don't keep your word. And you do the same thing with others when they don't keep their word to you. Even if you don't consciously think about it, you lose just a little bit, because every time you think of trusting that person again, or that person gives you their word again, or that person says they're going to do something again, what do you think back to? Oh, what did they tell me last time? They didn't do it last time. Or somebody might be thinking that about you. So how about this? What about when we give our words to ourselves? How many times have we given our word to ourselves in life and then not did the thing that we told ourselves we were going to do? How many times have we told ourselves, you know what, this time, this is going to be the one time I get it right. This is going to be the one time I don't make that same mistake again and again and again. And then what do? We go and don't get it right. We go and make that same mistake again. We go and we're not disciplined. We don't lose weight this year like we said we was going to do finally. We don't make that phone call like we said we were going to do. We don't write that email. We don't go create that website. We don't write that book that we keep talking about. We gave our word to ourselves, but we didn't do it. So you know what happens when you give your word to yourself and you don't follow up on the word that you gave to yourself? You lose a little bit of trust in yourself. You learn that you have trained yourself. Every time you give your word to yourself, you say something to yourself and you don't do it, you lose a little bit of trust in yourself. You trust yourself less because you didn't do what you said you were going to do. You lose a little bit of self-respect because you told yourself you were going to do something and you didn't do it. You lose a little self-belief. You lose a little bit of that self-confidence, that self-efficacy. Why? Because you said you were going to do something and you didn't do it. And this has happened to all of us. All of us have had times in our lives where we said we was going to do something and we didn't do it. Maybe we ended up doing it later. Maybe we eventually got around to it. Maybe circumstances forced us to finally do the thing that we were talking about. But whenever we tell ourselves we're going to do something and we don't do it, we lose the same thing you lose in another person. If any of you think about it, you ever had somebody give you their word and not do it, you lost a little bit of something in that person, a little bit of trust, respect, friendship, something. And you I can't really mess with this person on the same level that I messed with them before because they said A and then they did B. It's the exact same thing with yourself. And it's even more profound with yourself because you owe yourself more than anybody else owes you. You owe yourself more than you owe anybody else. So when you give yourself your word and you don't even come through for yourself, listen, who you going to come through for if you won't come through for yourself? If you can't do that, then you just lost a little bit. Like I said, confidence, self-respect, belief, trust. And now when it gets to the point that you actually need it, when you need to have that high level of self-respect. You need to have that high level of respect because you're stepping into a room where nobody knows you and you need to present yourself a certain way. You need to have that high level of self-belief because you're doing something that you might not be that experienced in, but you need to perform. People are depending on you to perform. You need to have that self-trust because you're doing something that there may be very high stakes. And you're doing something that maybe you're not super skilled in or super experienced in, but you got to be able to come through. But if you don't trust yourself, how are you going to do that? And every single time you give yourself your word, you don't do it. You're breaking that down. You're breaking down that ability little by little by little. So today's word, the thing we're going to take from this is what's going on. Cena, Mindspace, you said, can I direct you in the right direction on weight loss path? Send me an email, Dre@DreAllDay.com. I can send you some resources. So today's word, the thing that you want to take from this scope right here today, the ideas you want to take from this right here that you want to take with yourself today is that when you give yourself your word, make sure you are following through on that word. So there's 2 ways that anybody can go with this. Actually, 3 ways people can go with this piece of information. Here's way number 1. Way number 1 is do nothing. You're just going to take this information, this insight that you're hearing right now and do absolutely nothing with it. Just keep doing everything you've been doing, and that's your choice. That's fine. Here's way number 2. Way number 2 is now that you're thinking about this, like, wow, I can't give myself my word and not do it. So now what a lot of people will do is say, all right, I'm gonna not give myself my word as often as I used to. So instead of giving yourself your word 10 times a month, now you're going to do it 5 times a month. Why? Because now that lowers your risk. Now there's less chance of you not coming through for yourself. So now you're just not going to make any promises to yourself. You're not going to trust yourself. You're not going to believe in yourself. You're not going to exercise your self-confidence muscle by not trusting in yourself, not giving yourself your word. That's option number 2. Option number 3 is this. And this is the option that I hope at least one of you takes. At least one of you takes this option. This option is simple. You give yourself your word and then you actually do it. And that's it. Very simple, but not easy. You give yourself your word. Everything you give yourself your word on, you actually follow through and actually do it. You don't come up with excuses. You don't say, I'll do it later. You don't say, well, I only gave my word to myself, so don't nobody know about it, so it don't even matter. You don't do that. Every time you give your word to yourself from this point forward, you actually do the things you say you're going to do. So what you can do if you really want to take this to a max level is start overcommitting to yourself. Don't overcommit to other people. Overcommit to yourself. Overcommit that, hey, I'm going to lose weight this year, and I'm going to make more money, and I'm going to spend more time with my kids, and I'm going to be happier, and I'm going to get more sleep, and I'm going to eat better, and I'm going to do better in my finances, and I'm going to do better dealing with other people, and I'm going to get a promotion at my job. You overcommit to doing everything. Every single thing that you want to be great at in life, you commit to yourself to do it. It's not about putting it out on Instagram. You don't have to Facebook it. You don't have to get in no mastermind group. You ain't got to tell your husband or your wife or your kids or your mom. You keep your word to yourself. And that's the choice that every single one of us has. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is DreAllDay. For those of you who don't know me, I'm an entrepreneur. My background is as a professional athlete. I played basketball overseas 9 years. Now I'm an author. I've written 5 books. I got 10 more coming in 2016. I'm a coach and consultant, blogger, YouTuber, and of course I do these Periscope videos, branding, confidence, self-discipline, marketing, everything social media, everything when it comes to content and putting your name out there, marketing and promoting yourself. That's what I specialize in. For those of you who want to contact me directly, my email is Dre, that's my name, DRE, @DreAllDay.com. You can read my books at the link in my Periscope bio right here. My first book's called Buy a Game. I'll give it to you for free. Just go to DreAllDay.com, put your email address in the pop-up, and we'll get that to you ASAP. If you're on social media, Twitter is DreAllDay. My Snapchat, hit me on Snapchat at Dre Baldwin. I do take questions on Snapchat too. And what was the other one? Instagram is at Dre Baldwin as well. I got a Facebook page too. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all have a fantastic Thursday. I'm going to get at y'all later. Work on your game. Dre all day. Y'all know I wrote a book, right? It's called Buy Again.